kind of wild to see multi-billionaires go on TV just to mock the poor for wanting more dignity, more humanity, better lifestyles. Could we have some higher wages? And the most wealthy Americans say absolutely not. That means I'll have to take less money in my pocket. Never mind the fact that I have so much money in the world I can't even spend it in my entire fucking lifetime. I need fucking more. I need fucking more for myself so that I can fucking satisfy my big fat ego that says I'm not enough. I'm not enough until I have more. And then once I have more, I can show everybody else that I'm enough. Even these pricks are seeking our validation too, just as much as many of you are seeking theirs. We hear these types of stories all the time where these men or women, they get dominatrixes and dominating types of characters to impose their will on them. We've heard of presidents, putting on wigs and lipstick so that they can get in the booty. I'm a naughty president. I'm a naughty president. I'm a naughty little president. There's men out there you like to get fucking paid.
It doesn't make it gay when a woman has a dildo in my ass.
It's pretty gay, fella.
We call it cognitive dissonance in the psychological world.
We have to come up with some crazy ass excuse to justify our action. I've heard some men in prison say the words,
well, it's not gay if you're getting your dick sucked.
That's super gay, bro. And that's okay if it's gay. It's 2025. It's a different time. You're allowed to let your freak flag fly as high as you want, no shame. But one thing Americans gotta stop doing is pretending that it's something that it's not, even when it's right in front of your fucking face. You can see it with your eyes, you can hear it with your fucking ears, and yet you still find a way to deny the truth of reality. Gotta like American politicians. They don't give a fuck about you, never have, never will, but y'all seem to think different. I saw on the Missoula subreddit, they were saying, we gotta get a Zoran Mamdani of Missoula. And I think the harsh reality check to Missoula is that, Missoula is kind of comfortable with a certain demographic, you could say. If there was some Indian guy came here talking about fair fucking wages, rent control, taxing the wealthy, I think y'all would have a goddamn bitch fit and you would not vote for him. It's kind of a performative city where people say we need a Zoran Mamdani of Missoula, yet if Zoran Mamdani of Missoula shows up at your front doorstep asking for your vote, you'd probably like, sorry bud. Rent control? You want poor people to have a fair shot at life? No. Cheaper groceries for the working class? Absolutely not. Wealthy Montanans actually have to pay their fair fucking share into the system? They don't just keep getting to take tax breaks and bullshit? No. Housing these Missoula homeless people, how about they get a job? How about a lot of these homeless people do have jobs? Some people are door dashing because they have vehicles. Other people work in fast food. Other people do this and that. You want these Missoula homeless people to get a job. Some of these people are elderly as fuck. Some of these people are disabled as fuck. Some of these people are even dealing with severe health problems. Yeah, you gotta get a job and work 60 hours a week or even more. That's just the new normal if you want to have some shelter, baby. The fuck it is. And I don't want to accept that as reality where it's like you have 80 hours a week that you have to work and you have 1 or 2 hours a week that you get to yourself if you're lucky. I understand why people don't want to have children, because people will have children that they don't even have time to raise. Who has time to raise children when you have to go to work 8 or more hours a day? Some people have to deal with a fucking commute in between work, so they're sitting in rush hour traffic 3 hours a day. You have to pay for after school programs, you have to pay for babysitting, you have to pay for daycare. The food and clothes raising a child ain't nothing, it's all that other shit. So a lot of children are growing up like Jizzle D Freak and many other kids of the 80s and 90s who grew up with technology, were sat down in front of a television watching something, were playing a video game. Today's kids, they're sat down in front of YouTube watching crazy shit. They're sat down in front of Instagram, fucking Twitter, motherfucking TikTok. They see crazy motherfucking shit every fucking day. A lot of parents are not there to explain these things to their children, what they're seeing. Instead of parenting, we get these fucking influencers, we get these soulless fucking celebrities, we get this politicians and people who have no fucking empathy, no fucking compassion, no fucking humanity, no motherfucking nada. They just push this message to these young kids that you gotta be rich, you gotta be rich, you gotta get the most amount of attention so that you can make a lot of money with these brands. You're gonna be a fucking, basically a human billboard at that point. Because that's what an influencer is. This is a human billboard. This is an advertisement designed as content, but we see people post videos and all they're doing is showing off some product, and there's a link to that fucking product. They're giving you some code so that you can get a discount, because when you use their code, they're gonna get a fucking little chunk of money from that. But something happens when you become one of these influencers. You kind of lose your authenticity. Instead of a real human being, you simply become a character who plays a part.
We just need you to advertise this product and do that quirky little thing you do every video, and you're gonna keep getting the money, bud.
Can we talk about politics? No. Can we talk about spirituality and religion? No. Can we talk about conspiracy theories? Fuck no, you can't. Because here in America, it's almost as if there is some type of nefarious idea that people should not have critical thought, people should not use any logic. This is kind of how we're taught in elementary school, that 2 + 2 = 4. Then we go off a little further in school and we're taught that x + x = 4, or x times x = 4, and that x can equal 2, x can equal 1, 3 in parentheses. And once again, we never really get to understand why. They say don't ask questions, just do what you're told. The fact that so many of us go through elementary school, middle school, high school, university, and we still don't learn shit. Oh, elementary history is a little bit different than fucking middle school history, which is a little bit different than high school history, which is a little bit different than college history, which is a little bit different than actual fucking history. And getting back to these kids growing up on the internet, you know, they have access to all this information, and, you know, a lot of parents, you know, they once again try to shoot down critical thought. They try to shoot down logic. They say, don't ask questions. This is just how it is. We don't talk about Bruno. That was one of those mentalities that led me to leave the Christian religion and go on seeking out more information. You know, we would talk to these pastors and these, you know, elders, these church leaders, but they didn't seem to have answers to our questions. They just seemed to have these empty Bible verses that really didn't mean nothing. You know, sometimes the Bible lessons were confusing and didn't make any sense. You know, then I find schools of thought like Buddhism, schools of thought like yoga, and admittedly they can be confusing as fuck at first, but, you know, as more time went on, I kept going back to these yoga lessons, these Buddha lessons, and, you know, finding out that, oh, it's so simply put. You know, the human mind, we tend to overcomplicate this shit. You know, living in America, we're just taught to have this mentality of go, performance, more performance, fucking pressure, more pressure, productivity, more fucking productivity. So many people are just going through the motions of monotony. They're stuck in this routine, and, you know, they wonder how the fuck to get out of that routine. And when somebody gives them the suggestion, even though it's so simple, they say, no, it can't be that easy. It can't be that simple. It has to be more difficult than that. Simply stop. That's the key. That's the solution. You know, learn the other side of life that so many of you are missing out on: rest, stillness. Because only in those moments do you start to see things differently. That's when the real magic happens, baby.